Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you for clicking on this video. Welcome back to Small Couch Reviews. It's your boy Sam.
It's your boy Jovi.
Yes, and The Mandalorian and Grogu. We just saw it. We saw it last night. As you might have seen if you follow us on socials, which you absolutely should, because we post some dope stuff on there. But anyway, we saw this. It is, I guess, the culmination of the Mandalorian series, which debuted to just wonderful applause
Yes.
back during COVID, I believe, actually is when it debuted, or just before. Anyway, we have this movie now that takes place after the Mandalorian season 3. I don't think you will need to have watched the entire series to understand this movie. The movie actually starts, we don't have a Star Wars crawl, we just get some text. And it tells us about how this takes place after, the death. It's after the Empire has ended, right? So after Return of the Jedi, sorry. And there are remnants of the Empire out there, which we know eventually form into the First Order, according to Episode 7. But this is before that. There are remnants of the Empire out there, and they are trying to rebuild the Empire. And the Mandalorian, who now works with the New Republic, has been tasked with hunting them down and eliminating them. Now, the movie does start. I pause because I don't know how much I want to give away, but the movie's not really about that because it's kind of interesting. That's the kind of the premise we get. But the movie morphs into more of, while he's doing this, he gets in trouble with the Hutts, like Jabba the Hutt, you may recall. And the movie is really about him trying to deal with his issue with the Hutts more so than dealing with the Empire. Just want to put that out there because I'm not sure if that's really.
It's like
a bit misleading if you read a synopsis, but go ahead.
The story is them trying to navigate this new world that they were heavily involved in creating, like making it worse for the New Order. Like these Empire guys just floating around. Like everybody knows who the Mandalorian is, not just because of his badassness, but now because he is the center point of destroying the old Empire.
Yeah, that's true.
So like even these crime syndicates know who he is.
Agreed. Yeah. So, there's been a lot of talk with this movie, and we said it on our social media last night. Didn't necessarily need to come out in theaters. This could have been a 4-5 episode arc in a season on Disney Plus. I think it would have been fine. I have
the TV up behind my screen right now. The Punisher, One Last Kill, literally is sitting right there streaming now. That did so well. And like when we were growing up, TV movies were a thing. So it's this whole thing. If it doesn't come out in theaters, that it doesn't count. It's silly because this would have done just as well as, hey, bruh, Mandalorian Grogu's dropping on Friday. Whose house are we watching it at? Like,
totally agree.
It still would have been a spectacle, but you wouldn't have got to do merch. And I honestly think they did this for Dave Filoni because, and we'll talk about it in our review, it really is a culmination of all his Star Wars projects.
Yeah, he's done a lot of good stuff. I think that I enjoyed, what was it, the Force Awakens or whatever I think that's what it was called, Episode 7. I enjoyed it, but did not like 8 or 9. But every single Disney show, minus maybe The Acolyte, I've enjoyed. So
yeah, I mean, we have very similar tastes. I'm the Star Wars guy. I will hands down say 8 and 9 are not good films, nor are they good Star Wars films. They really took the fire from this amazing universe.
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said what you just said, because I think a lot of the lukewarmness or, just mehness that people are giving this movie, this is a Star Wars movie. Star Wars movies are like events, right? And again, this came out, and as much as I liked it, it really felt like the TV show, which is not a bad thing. Because season 2, episode 1 of the TV show is when he finds the guy wearing Boba Fett's armor, and they have to fight that giant sand dragon.
Yeah.
the scope of that episode, I remember I was watching it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. It's something like I've never seen before, right? So all that to say, it can be cinematic without being in cinemas. And I think
Mhm.
that a lot of people might watch this and be like, yeah, that was fun, but did I need to, get dressed and come to the movie for it? Not
Did we?
necessarily something I would think. Let's get into, sour, sweets, what we actually thought of the film itself. So, Jovi, I'm gonna let you go first, bro. We like to start sour and end with some sweetness. So let's get
We
our
like to
negatives out
start.
of the way.
Yeah, we like to start sour and with sweets. And slowly but surely over the years, we are very critical and we give you everything we're feeling. Say all that to go to my sour. This is The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian is not all action. It's more of a storytelling thing where you're going to have long gaps where they're just building story and talking. And if you are not that kind of person and you think this is going to just be an action rom-com, I mean, not rom-com because there's no romance in it.
It's like I was waiting for
Uh,
you to finish
so,
that
and
thought.
that's
Go
I'll
ahead.
talk. That is one of my that's one of my sours. There are some missing characters.
Yes. Okay.
I
Yeah,
would
I
have
agree with
liked to
that.
see that. I thought we were going to get that rom-com, but if you're looking for just a straight up action flick, this is not what it is. If you're looking for something stupid to go watch because that's what most action films are now, this is not that. This is the Mandalorian TV show on the big screen. So you're going to get very, very, I'm talking 10, 15 minutes of just dialogue and story building. I'm surprised that our friends' kids they didn't say that they didn't like how much they were talking in this.
Really? Well, you know what? I think there's enough because it's a slight disagreement. I think there's enough action to satiate them. Because
I
I would okay, but no, I'm gonna go after you though. Go ahead.
I think that no, I'm telling you, like I enjoyed that aspect, but I'm looking around. I was like, there's a lot of kids in here. It's just really built for kids. But that's it. I really don't have any more like drawbacks. This was better than parts of season 3 for me.
Okay, season 3, I think a lot of people think is a weak point. I actually enjoyed it
Yeah,
immensely. I loved everything with Bo
I think
Katan.
this as a whole is better for me than season 3, but there would be no movie without season 3. Like all the events that happen in season 3 is what they're battling in this. So
What do you mean by that?
them being on the Republic side now and doing
Oh,
all
okay. I
that,
mean, I guess that's not a
yeah,
huge part of season 3, though.
that was like the end when we were like, okay, Mandalorian is done because now we're at the point where you're seeing all of the characters from Rebels.
Oh yeah. Because that's when Zeb comes in. I believe. I
Yeah.
think he's in the last 2 or last 1 episode. But
And then
yeah,
I want you to go. I don't even want to go to my sweet yet. I want you to tell me yours.
yeah. I realize we're running kind of long, so let's get this out the way. So, I mean, obviously, outside of what we already mentioned, how I think this could have been episodes. I agree. I think there are characters missing that should like. He made a lot of friends through his 3 seasons.
Mhm.
Not one of them is in here. And it does lend to that, at least to that same thing you kind of think in the MCU. You're like, yo, where are all the other heroes at? Like, he's in danger. There's a whole conclave of Mandalorians that could come and help him, and there'd be no problem. Even if he
Right.
just got Bo-Katan to come help him a little bit, there'd be no
That's what I
problem.
was waiting for the entire time.
So that was a little bit, and it doesn't even have to necessarily be Mandalorian. It's just he made a lot of friends, and they just weren't in the movie. It was really just him and Grogu, which that's not where the season ended, but you know, that's one sour I had. Another thing that's a bit of a downer, the movie, its first scene is one of the best things I've ever seen. He
Mhm.
is literally he's a walking mass of destruction. He is
Yes.
taking out stormtroopers left and right, going after these Imperials.
It's a
And I'm like,
callback to
this
the
is
first.
what I
Yeah.
wanted.
Yeah.
And then, like, the movie shifts from him dealing with Imperials to him dealing with these huts. And I don't necessarily hate huts, but I'm just like, I thought we were looking at the Empire, getting some more Empire lore here. And it's disappointing that the movie kind of shifted gears and we were dealing with the huts for, I'd say, 2/3 of the movie.
Yeah.
Um, And then I think the only other thing I can say, so the CG in this movie actually held up pretty well because there's a lot of it, but it held up pretty well.
A
But
lot.
he fights a lot of CGI monsters. Like a lot of the scenes involve him fighting a CGI monster, going to the next thing,
Yeah.
fighting a CGI monster, going to the next thing, fighting a CGI monster, going to the next. Like, and maybe it's because they're CGI monsters, but it just didn't feel as satisfying as when he was taking out those stormtroopers.
I agree.
Um,
I agree.
but the
It's,
action did.
it's nothing like
It
the
was still
first
there.
season. It's nothing like the first season, bro.
Oh yeah.
I don't think anything's ever going to top because that's when we were introduced to this literal bounty hunter. Like
Yeah.
he is. We love Boba Fett. We all love Boba Fett. But he just, like you said, a walking he is a tank of
Yeah, man.
he is the Mandalorian is destruction and he knows nothing else. That's what makes this character so dynamic. He didn't find family and love till he met Grogu.
With that, I want to move into our suites.
Oh,
Let me go because I'm gonna go quick. First off, like I said, the action is, when it's there, it's so good. Jovi
mhm,
mentioned the dialogue in like the building. I love that because when you watch this, you understand Grogu is force sensitive, but he
mhm,
chose not to be a Jedi and instead walk the way of the Mandalore. He wants to grow up as the Mandalorian did.
mhm.
So watching his development was a major part of this movie for me because it's called the Mandalorian and Grogu, and for a long portion, I'm like, "Where's the and Grogu part?" But
Where's the
then
Grogu
he gets his whole thing to do, and it was just,
whole
it,
arc?
honestly, it was so sweet. It was a feel good moment watching him, kind of step up and take the reins and kind of take care of his father figure. So I really dug that portion. Of course, like I said, and I'm going to keep saying it, Din Djarin, when he gets serious or when he gets mad and he needs to take someone out, he just there's a scene in a bar where he's asking for someone, and like the way he says things, like if I were to tell Jovi, "Yo, I need something, and I'm not going to ask you again," he'd be like, "Man, get out my face." But the way this dude says stuff, he's like, "I asked you once.
I asked
I
you,
promise you I'm not gonna say it again." And
and
like
he's
you
serious.
just feel the fear. So I love that, and yeah, it's big. We watched it on a big screen. It is big when we have some space battles. One space battle in particular, I thought was, oh my gosh, it's some of the best piloting I've seen in Star Wars, period, where he's taking on these three enemy fighters. I don't even these three enemy fighter jets. But it was that made me stand up in my or not stand up, but sit up in my seat, and I was like, wow, I am loving this. And yeah, man, the effects, practical and CGI, they really held up a lot better than I thought they would. Now, the CGI, it's CGI, but it's like that good stuff where it's like, okay, I know you're not a real thing, but you're at least rendered very well.
It's
So
Lucasfilms, you know.
yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. Those are my sweets. You go
Yeah.
ahead, Jovi.
I mean, I'm gonna go off your last suite, and I was thinking about this on my walk. The introduction, or not even the introduction, bringing back the Razor Crest is probably
Oh
one
yeah.
of like the highlights of this film for me. Because if you're not a Star Wars fan, you're not going to understand that the ships are characters in themselves. And he makes little statements and little comments, and then that is a huge suite for me. There's a lot of little things and random things said in this, like, thank you, the writer's room.
Oh yeah. And that adds to the comedy too. I forgot
Yes.
about that. Yeah.
Acting, awesome. CG characters, voice acting.
Yep.
I'll go back to what I said before. Sam may have cut this out because I've been talking a lot. Uh, the statement before, they got actors that they knew were great
hmm
actors to play these voice characters. You can't just throw a random voice on a Lucasfilm CG character. If you can't bring it to life, it's not going to feel good. Sam already's talked about the action. It's the Mandalorian. If it didn't have action, we would have had a problem.
Yeah.
The Grogu arc, I would say, is probably my second favorite part of this film. You see him growing. You see that he understands the world that he's in. We still don't know where this thing came from besides the Jedi Temple.
He's from the planet Yoda's are come from.
Yeah, but it's still so much mystery, Sam. It's only 3 of them. There's only 3 of them. Where in if he is so force sensitive, who destroyed the planet and killed all the Yodas?
I want to know why you know what? Yeah, that's true. Actually, I want to because he was 50 when we met him. This is totally not about the movie, but he was 50 when we met him.
Yeah.
How did the Inquisitors not get him?
It was just the sweet is again. This is the Mandalorian, and this is Grogu. If we don't get another season, this was a very good package of everything that they've gone through to now what their life is going to be. And I enjoyed it, man. I really like this film. Is it something that I would get on 4K Blu-ray? I don't know.
What would you? So then, what would that leaves me? What would you rate this movie?
Yeah, that's what's really hard, man, because it was super good, and I only have those few little drawbacks when it gets a little dry, but I still love the dialogue. It's like maybe it's a 4 out of 5 for me. It's not a perfect film. Whole thing with the Hutts, I don't care, right? I don't care about the Hutts.
Yeah, that's my thing. I agree. I think I'd go with like a 3.75.
Okay. I mean, no, honestly, but I think then on not even us. You're going with a 3.5. I think we got a 3.75. I feel like yes, maybe it's really a 3.75. Because again, this is not the spectacle that you assume the Star Wars is going to be.
Exactly like we said at the beginning. Yep, that's it, y'all. So The Mandalorian and Grogu is now out in theaters. Here's a question for you: what has been your favorite project since Disney has taken over Star Wars? I'll tell you mine. Season 7, episodes 9, 10, 11, and 12 of Clone Wars.
Oh,
that
wow.
is when Ahsoka and Maul are battling on Mandalore, and it's basically showing what Ahsoka was doing during Revenge of the Sith. I think that's the best Star Wars. Even to today, I think that's the best one. What about you, Jovi? Probably Mandalorian season
randomly
1.
Think of that, dude. This is hard. I can't. I don't know. There's so much because I really like the Bad Batch. I really like Rebels. Like I thoroughly enjoyed the first season of Mandalorian. So I don't know. I don't know what my favorite thing is. I am partial to anything Anakin and Ahsoka though. So I'll leave it at that. Anything where Anakin and Ahsoka are sharing the screen, including the Ahsoka show, that's
all right. Fair point. All right, so this was a bit longer, but appreciate you guys for sticking around. Thank you so much, and until next time, we out.
Deuces.